Hey guys, Rookie Lock here, back once again. I hope everyone's having a great day as always, and I got something pretty special today for Stock Lock Sunday. Um, Looks like just a regular 570 cylinder, but when you take a look at that keyway, um, it's a BiLock. Another lock I never thought I would be able to have in my collection. And for a while there, I never thought I would be able to get into this thing. I have quite a few hours in this before I actually got it open, and only got it open a couple times. My first time getting it open was a couple days ago, so I want to see if I can get it on camera. You guys know I love high security locks. That's kind of my thing, but they're kind of hard to get your hands on. They're not generally the things people want to trade. But anyway, I could talk forever about this lock, so I'm just gonna undo my talking while picking it. It is a stock lock. The only thing that's not stock about it is the springs. Not sure if it's something I did or if it was already like that when I got it from my good buddy Paul. Once again, thanks Paul. But the springs were all mangled, so I kind of had to make my own springs out of some springs that I cut down. But works fine. This is the key I made for it. Still need to get some plastic to make a bow. Works really good, actually. And that's the bitting. This is masterkeyed, so some of these cuts could be different. I think it's pretty heavily masterkeyed, but which technically would make it easier theoretically, but it's still a really hard lock to pick. But going to tension off of this side of the keyway since I'm turning clockwise, and I'm going to use this offset hybrid. Now my main problem when first starting to pick this lock is you need a really low, short hook. The lowest cut pins, I think it's something like 81 thousandths of a cut on a key from the bottom. And this pick can, if you're not careful, even this low of a pick can overset those lowest cuts. So that was my big problem in picking this thing, is just not realizing that you're oversetting some of the low cuts. Okay, nice click, nice turn there. And basically you're chasing this thing into a progressively deeper false set until it opens. That's what I've found anyway. Definitely a binder there. And the clicks are really, you get one good click every here and there, but they're really muted clicks, like they're not very sharp. Nice click there. Nice. I think this whole side might even be picked. So yeah, once I figured out that even this can, if you're not careful, overset the lowest cuts, and the false gates are a whole other story, but once I figured that out, it wasn't hard to get this thing open. And once you get it open, it's not like a sharp turn on the tension wrench. It's kind of funny how it I guess it's the springiness of the sidebars. It just kind of, yeah, just kind of slides open. Hope I can demonstrate that here. Everything feels set, but I'm sure there's one that just needs to be pushed a little bit more. And there it is, number one. That might be my quickest time yet. Like I said, I have hours and hours in this thing, and kind of blew me away once I figured the trick out, so to speak, and just kind of opens right up. I have yet to pick this one. I'll probably do that on a video eventually, but really, really happy to get this thing picked. It felt so good. Reminded me of my first time picking lock. I can lock it back up. Yeah, might as well. And this probably is going to be one of those videos that the gut takes forever. 12 pins, 12 springs, 2 sidebars. And another thing about this lock that took me a while to figure out, I thought most BiLocks you would be able to gut it without a key, which, I mean, you kind of can on this one forcefully, but you're kind of, not breaking it, but you're kind of ruining a part of it. I'll kind of show you guys that. On this one, they put in this, I don't know if you can see in here, they put in this little spring-loaded piece. I'll show you better once I get it apart. But it has a little ear or a little lip on it that, oh, that's the wrong key. Paying more attention to what I'm saying. It has a little ear that has to be lined up with the sidebar groove to be able to take apart. So that's what kept me from gutting this thing when I first got it. And I know a few people that I talked to. I think Daz had a lock that he could not gut. He didn't have a key for it, and it didn't gut when it was locked up. But like the first generation BiLocks, from what I thought, they would all be able to be gutted without a key. So here's that piece. Hope I can get a decent focus on this. I'll leave the sidebars drop. I'll take the key out. This camera needs such a big area to focus. Come on. Alright. It's really hard to see, but there's this little ear here that's only on one side. That has to be lined up with the sidebar to come out. And this has to be pushed down. Oops. To fit through the back of the core there. So there's one sidebar and springs intact, and here's the other one. Doing this through the camera. And so we'll take this little thing off, maybe get a better look at it. And that's grinded down because I did slide this core out one time in the locked position. Take that spring out so I don't lose it. Alright, now the messy part. I want to give you guys a view, but I don't want to bounce these springs in everyone's eyes. So some of these are stock regular BiLock springs, but like I said, since a lot of them were messed up, I had to make some of my own springs. I don't know where a guy would get BiLock springs if he needed them, but what I have in there is fine. So there's one of the springs I made, and here is one of the BiLock springs. Like I said, guys, I apologize for the long video, but hopefully it's an interesting enough lock for people to stick to the end and watch the or check out the pins. Like I said, I think it's pretty heavily master keyed. You'll see some pins with 2 holes that the little posts on the sidebar interface with, and you'll see some with like a stretched hole, basically. I'm not sure what the best way to do this is, since there's since there's 2 rows. Yeah, this is going to take a while. I'll put the lower set on the bottom. And the other set on top. Sorry if my hands are in the way, guys. I'm not looking through the camera anymore. I'll try to give you guys a better view. This is one of those locks I really hate gutting on camera, but it's one of those locks you have to get, or else no one will believe that no one will believe that you picked it properly. I tend to trust people, but you know, there's always that one guy that'll call you out. So there we go. That's not as bad as I thought. I gotta try not to put my hand in front of everything. Get these all flipped around so you can see the gates. And we'll get a good look at those sidebars first. So you can see, well, first of all, sidebars are unmodified. I'll leave it down on the tray here. And you can see the milling in the pins is what keeps these pins from, move this light, hopefully. The milling in the sides of these pins is what keeps it from rotating. These little pins on the sidebar do rest into the milling enough so that these pins won't rotate. And you can see some pretty heavily master keying. Surprisingly, there's no, there's elongated gate, but besides that, they're all doubles. There's another elongated one. And we have false gate here. I can't tell. No, none there. One there. And the false, there's kind of one here too. One there. And the false gates are really shallow. But yeah, that's what's in a BiLock. Really wicked lock. You wouldn't think it would be that hard to pick, but the way that when you put tension on the lock, the way that the sidebars are, I'll get a good look at that. The way the sidebars are designed, they have like a step in it. You'll kind of get more tension on one side, depending on what direction. And it doesn't bind the way you would think it would. First time I got one, I just would take the core, push on the sidebars, and push down the springs or the pins manually, and it's easy to pick that way. But when it's in a lock, it's completely different. It puts tension on it very, very differently. And like I said, the clicks aren't extremely pronounced. They're pretty dull, except for a few here and there. But yeah, like I said, I could talk forever about this lock. Really wicked design. And the Gen 2s and the exclusives are something else completely. I'd love to get one day, but yeah, those quick change cores are pretty cool too. Anyway, another stock lock Sunday. Pretty cool lock. Paul, thanks once again. I can't thank you enough, buddy. Still working on your picks. I'll give you an email this week about that. Alright guys, as always, don't give lock pickers a bad name. Don't pick locks that you don't own or have permission to pick. And see you guys in the next video. Take care.